Hello friends, today we are going to talk about communication skills in autistic children. Communication is not synonymous with language. Language comprises of words, but communication does not necessarily require words. Many autistic children try to communicate with gestures. And gestures does not mean you have to give a perfect eye contact and point. Even if they are pulling on your clothes to take you to where they need something, what they require, they are still communicating with you. It's just that is their form of communication, which if you try to understand will make it easier to develop communication and even language skills in them. When we talk about communication, there are three main aspects in it. Speech, which is how we talk, the written form in which the child can read or write down, and then the third one is the non-verbal communication, which is actually their strongest part because somehow through gestures they learn to communicate their needs. Just to understand, this is what neurodiversity is, seeing the brain of an autistic child and of a neurotypical child. There is a neurodiversity observed in autistic children, which means the form of communication that they have varies significantly from neurotypical children. The three common forms in which autistic children communicate are they use different kind of words. So they could be newly formed words in their head, which we commonly call as jargon, or they try to say a rhyme or have learned a word to communicate something. For example, when they say, oh no, it simply means they are trying to say that I don't want to do this activity, or I am not interested in taking a bath or eating a meal right now. So every time they will end up saying, oh no, or maybe they will end up saying a rhyme. That rhyme is an indication that I do not want to do what you are asking me to. Secondly, their form of non-verbal communication is also different. So a neurotypical child may be pointing to something that I need this, but in their case they will pull your hand, take your hand towards the fridge, for example, in order to show that they need something from it, they are hungry. Or they will take your hand towards the kitchen and point towards the bottles that I need my sipper because I am thirsty. The third form in which they communicate is their behaviors. Their behavior tells us what they are feeling emotionally or what they want to express. For example, a child feels overwhelmed in a social setting because people are coming to that child trying to ask questions. Everyone wants to say hello to them, greet them, or the sensory environment is not comfortable for them. So they will either end up screaming, they might be singing rhymes, they might be flapping their hands, they might be running around. All these behaviors are an expression of the child to say, I'm not comfortable here, can I have a break? They learn to repeat phrases. So whatever you say, they're going to repeat it back, but it will be in context. So for example, they will say water or water everywhere, which is their way of saying that I need water. So they will repeat, but it is in context because yes, they are thirsty, they are asking for water. The next thing is how the tone of the child will vary in autistic children. So the tone will be, you will feel there is no affect. It means that there is no expression. So it's like a robotic speech or a plain flat monotone in which they are talking. I want water, I want water. So we say, I want water. So that facial expression, that volume and the tone, depending on what is their immediate need, that is lacking. Thirdly, you'll find that there is a strange accent sometimes that is picked up by autistic children because depending on if they had screen time or if they have heard someone a number of times, they will have more of a tendency to pick up that accent while talking. So a child watching Peppa Pig might be found to say British words commonly. Whenever this child has a dysregulation, a meltdown, they are overwhelmed by a situation, it is difficult for them to bring words out to communicate. And at that time, they communicate more either by nonverbal means of communication or by behaviors like meltdown. Some kids actually develop this tendency to point at objects, but they will point and after that they'll start looking somewhere else because maintaining eye contact and even maintaining that gesture of pointing might be challenging for them. So they looked at you once, pointed to the fridge, and after that they're looking somewhere else. So you think they have lost their focus. So maybe they don't need that item anymore, but it's just a matter of maintaining an eye contact, and pointing continuously towards the desired item might not be practical for them. And finally, they copy movements. Their copying and imitation skills are not bad. So how will they copy? For example, you tell them in an activity, let's try to find something from here. So instead of finding, they will also move their hand over that. So they are copying you. In a similar way, for example, you show them, see the light. They will also point to that, and they will probably look at your finger, but they will not realize what you are pointing at. So it is important that gestures are used with them carefully so that it is easier for them to understand what you are talking about. So instead of showing them, you can pick, this is a bird. Now can you find a bird? Or pick the bird. Then you pick one time and then ask them, pick the bird, and they will know, they will copy you and show you the picture of the bird. And finally comes the behavioral aspect of communication. Usually these behaviors are seen in the form of meltdowns, disruptive behaviors, either self-harming behaviors or harming others as well. In these extreme cases of behaviors, of course, it is related to the emotions of the child. It is important to work on the emotional regulation aspect rather than directly telling them to not have a meltdown or trying to take them away from the situation, simply thinking that it's better not to take them socially. They are never okay there. They always throw a tantrum. But figure out there is something overwhelming in that place that they are not comfortable with, and they are expressing, they are telling you. So carrying some kind of fidget toys or sensory environment, or giving them a noise cancelling headphones, for example, it's a too noisy place, or their focus is getting they are getting diverted by the lights, the sounds in the environment. So for example, you can carry some kind of visual toy for them that they can focus on, or simply holding your hand can make a difference for them. We will continue this topic further in another video. We will talk about various techniques by which you can help your child to develop communication skills. So if you found this video informative, please like it, subscribe to the channel for more videos related to child development and autism acceptance and awareness. Ring the bell icon for notifications. Add any queries or suggestions in the comments below. We will meet again soon. Bye.